Hi, I'm here at the Jamaica Plain Wake Up the Earth Festival, and this young man just decided he wanted to put on our PDR Boston button. It says, let's remove the rich from power, have real not fake democracy with no rich and no poor. So I take it you like the ideas in the button. Do you think it's possible we can make society be that way?
I'm not committing to any political standpoints. I'm just doing this interview.
Okay.
I didn't know what I was getting into.
Okay. Would you like to add anything? What you're doing
read
here?
The Boston Compass.
Okay.
It's a free monthly newspaper about the music and arts in the Boston community.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I love the button.
Okay.
You know how to hold it?
Why do you love the button?
Because I agree with it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you want to add anything about what you're doing here at the Wake Up the Earth Festival?
Well, we're here actually with an organization called the Jamaica Plain New Economy Transition. And we do a lot of work in different projects in JP, including promoting a cancer-free economy, working with the Boston Food Forest Coalition, and some other community groups, including we created a time bank, so kind of exchanging value instead of money for services that you can provide. So we do a lot of community work here in Jamaica Plain.
You know, one of the things that we advocate is egalitarianism, and what that means, among other things, is a society that is not even based on money at all.
Right,
it's
exactly.
based on sharing according to need among people who contribute reasonably.
Right, exactly. And that's what we're trying to promote here, is kind of the sharing economy over the monetary economy.
Now, how optimistic or pessimistic are you that we can actually make our society that way on a really large scale, in a big way?
Pessimistic in the short term, optimistic in the long term.
If you knew that hundreds of millions of Americans, a majority, wanted to do exactly that, would you be a little bit more optimistic?
I think so.
Well,
I think so.
I think it is in fact the case that most Americans want to do that, but you never see them in the mass media, so it creates the impression that we're alone, but really I think we're the majority.
Right. I would like to think so.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Have a good day.
You
Goodbye.
too.
So what do you think about this PDR button? Says, let's remove the rich from power, have real not fake democracy.
It's the only way to get a real society that works for everybody and works for the environment, is to get the rich out of power, because when 1% controls everything, everybody else suffers. Nobody works for the greater good. And the 1%ers would actually be better off if everyone else was a little better off, if there wasn't so much discrepancy. We'd have a lot more parity and a lot more better quality of life for everyone.
So do you think we're ever going to be able to remove them from power?
It's going to be a long, hard struggle, because they've got all the money and they control the government. So I don't know. I don't want to say we can't. I think that there's a way to do anything. I think that we should take heart from the gay rights movement that has seen such tremendous strides in gay marriage in just the last 10, 11 years. If we're on the brink of getting every state in the country to have gay marriage be legal, maybe there's a chance to get rich people out of power.
So the reason we're making these videos is we want to let the public see that it's really a majority of Americans who feel the way you do about wanting to remove the rich from power. And people like you expressing that opinion are never seen on mass media. So it creates the impression that hardly anyone thinks this way. And yet the truth is most people think this way.
Exactly.
And when people know that most people think this way, I think we'll have the confidence to remove the rich from power. So thank you very much. Would you like to add anything?
Thanks for doing this work you're doing.
Thank you very much. Take care.
You too.
Most of us who live in the city.
Hi, here we are at the May Day in Jamaica. The day after May Day in Jamaica Plain at the Wake Up the Earth Festival. And I'm talking to someone, and I'm going to ask.
Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Yes.
I'm John. you're able to say whatever you want. I gave you the button, and I'm curious what you think about it. It says, let's remove the rich from power, have real, not fake democracy with no rich and no poor. Good idea or bad idea?
It's a great idea. And as a representative of Harvest Co-op, you know, we're all about that, giving the power to the people and having just equal investment. We don't want a big power hierarchy of rich people running, you know, what should be for everybody. So
good to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually most people feel this way, even though you never see people like you on mass media.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why we're making these videos.
All right. I dig it.
Do you want to add anything?
Not anything off the top of my head right now, but.
Okay. Thank you, Molly.
All right.
Goodbye.
So pretty,
here we are at Jamaica Plains Wake Up the Earth Festival, May 2nd, and this gentleman, I just gave the one of our buttons, the PDR button that says, let's remove the rich from power, have real, not fake democracy with no rich and no poor. And your feelings about that are?
Oh, well, you know, I think it's a touchy subject. It's a ideal system where, you know, the rich doesn't have an influence on legislation, but is it realistic? Not really. I do feel like, yeah, we have a system that's sort of broken and a lot I do agree. You know, really the government works for people they can't ignore. I hope that can change, and I hope people can, the common person, the common man, can have his voice heard, and just as much as the leader of a business, of a Fortune 500 or any major business.
Now, if you thought that it really was possible, I know you might not think that, but if you thought it was possible, would you think it would be a good idea if we had a society that was one where there was no rich and no poor?
Well, if it were possible, I think it would be great. I think it would be great. But I do think what's more in arm's reach is social entrepreneurship, doing well by doing good, and solving problems to make a living, as opposed to you know, making a living any way you can, and maybe even contributing to some of the world's problems, like, you know, dumping, you know, the list goes on. I'm not. It's not on my head right now, but yes.
Okay. Well, I thank you for your opinion. Would you like to add anything?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for
the Earth Festival in Jamaica Plain, and I'm asking a woman what she thinks. Here we go.
Well, something I think about an awful lot is how expensive housing is in Boston, and maybe more specifically in Jamaica Plain where I live. I just don't know how ordinary people are going to be able to find housing. Certainly, I have 3 grown children. I don't think any of them could afford to buy a house in Jamaica Plain right now.
You know, the PDR Boston has meetings with the local assembly of egalitarians in Jamaica Plain, and I gave a talk at one of them, the title of which was "Let's Make Gentrification Illegal." And by that, what I meant is an egalitarian revolution where we have no rich and no poor, and one of the features of that would be that people who are living in a home, which is, you know, a reasonable size home for the size of their family, would basically own that home, and no one could make the move out of it. No one could say you have to pay someone rent or tax, or else you have to leave. They would be able to stay.
Well, I don't know, but it's a big problem. Housing and the schools, something I think about a lot. But,
yeah, I agree. It is a very big problem.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this idea? Let's remove the rich from power, have real, not fake democracy with no rich and no poor.
You know, I'd need to think about that more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to think about that.
Pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
You too.
Goodbye.
Okay. All right.
Hello, we're here at the Jamaica Plain Wake Up the Earth Festival, May 2nd, and I'm interviewing a woman at a booth who will tell me what she thinks about the button I just gave her that says, let's remove the rich from power, Have Real Not Fake Democracy with no rich and no poor, and maybe tell us what her booth is about.
I think this is a really interesting button. It touches on a lot of issues that I've been thinking about a lot, about how power and wealth is distributed in our country and around the world. And I think that it could be much more evenly distributed, and I've been trying to figure out ways that we can start changing the dynamics between different classes of people.
Thank you. And what is your booth about?
We are starting a fiber arts center in Boston.
Let me just swing around and show people what the booth looks like a little bit. Okay.
Okay. So as I said, we're starting a fiber arts center in Boston, and we're doing some fundraising here today to promote our endeavor and an event we're having at the end of June that will be a fiber swap event.
Very good.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything? No?
Nope.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm here at the Jamaica Plain Wake Up the Earth Festival, May 2nd, and this gentleman has just taken the PDR button to look at, so let me ask you, what do you think? Good idea or bad idea? Remove the rich from power, have real not fake democracy with no rich and no poor.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a wonderful idea. I think that's where we need to be headed as a country. Otherwise, we're going to continue to see wage disparities. We're going to continue to see the 1%, take over more and more political power. I don't know, just fun. I got to check it out some more, but I think it's a good idea overall. It's definitely something I stand for.
One of the reasons we're making videos like this is to show the public that most people think it's a great idea. The public tends not to know that most people feel this way because people like you are never on the mass media. You're censored from the mass media, and so it creates the impression that hardly anyone feels this way, but most people do. So if you knew that, if you saw hundreds of millions of Americans saying, well, let's remove the rich from power, have real not fake democracy with no rich and no poor, would you feel a little more optimistic that maybe it could happen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would feel, it's a matter of organizing people. The more we have on board, the more likely you're going to see those at the top respond, react, and I agree. We need more people, and I think these videos might help.
Thank you. You want to tell our audience what your it says Bootstrap post is all about? Let me just show.
So we're Greater Boston's premier food scrap go-getters. What we do is we basically collect food scraps from residents, cafes, offices, commercial clients, take it to local farms, and turn those food scraps into compost. Our subscribers get 5 pounds of compost back every 3 months to use in their home gardening projects. We donate a lot of it to schools, community gardens. We, our work is basically tied around reducing waste, keeping food scraps out of landfills, reducing greenhouse gas emissions that come with food scraps being in landfills, creating soil for local agriculture, and finally educating the public about more sustainable ways of living and offering them a lifestyle choice that reflects their values as environmentally responsible consumers.
Do you have a web page or a phone number?
Absolutely. You can find us at bootstrapcompost.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we're happy to help you, answer any questions you might have about composting.
So you said bootstrapcompost.com.
Yep.
So I got everything here in the video except the .com. Okay. There we go. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
I'm talking to an extremely tall young woman. Very, 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 very tall. At Jamaica Plain's Wake Up the Earth, May 2nd. And I'm showing her our PDR button that says, let's remove the rich from power, have real not fake democracy with no rich and no poor. And I wonder what you think about it. I've got to get close enough so that I can hear you.
I just think that it makes more sense to remove the rich from power because the rich aren't really thinking about everybody in an ethical way. So us being like the majority and of the minority, we have more people power, and if we as like the people in less power like come together and like work to like make more valuable decisions and taking the rich out of making that decision for us, that our decision would be more valued in society.
Let me ask you, do you think that in having the opinion that you just expressed, do you think you're in the majority or in the minority in this country?
I think we're in the majority because we have more mixed race people now. So and then so when I say majority of the minority, I mean
I don't mean in terms of race. I mean in terms of your opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think I'm in the majority.
I think you are too. But I also think that a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
And because people like you saying what you just said, you never see people like you saying that in the mass media for obvious reasons. And it creates the impression that there are not very many people who feel that way. So that's why we're doing videos like this, so people can see people like you and begin to realize that, hey, it's most of us who feel this way. Let's do something about it. Would you like to add anything?
So on June 20th, we have an event, Hijack the Hood, and I'm from Roxbury Environmental Empowerment Project, REAP, and we're a youth-led program. So on June 20th, our Hijack the Hood is going to be focusing on reclaiming, rebuilding, and renaming land. So there's a lot of land in Roxbury, Mattapan, and Dorchester that are is vacant. So we're trying to teach the community that they own the land and that because it was vacant for so long and the city didn't want to do anything, people should learn about their own ownership because of their community involvement. So we're going to teach them what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, I agree. The land and the wealth of the society should be used to benefit regular people, not just make money for the rich. What's special about June 20th?
There's nothing really special about June 20th.
Okay.
We just picked the date.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good day here. Goodbye. Well, here we are at the Jamaica Plain Wake Up the Earth Festival, and I'm talking to a woman at a booth, which is the Jamaica Plain. What is this booth?
We're the Jamaica Plain Historical Society, and my name is Diane Simpson.
Hi, I'm John Spritzler. So, you know, we have this PDR button that says, let's remove the rich from power, have real, not fake democracy, with no rich and no poor. You think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
I think it's a good idea because that provides a level playing field and enables everyone to have a chance to participate equally in the democracy.
You know, this level playing field metaphor, it's a metaphor, I guess, that can be interpreted different ways. Some people interpret it to mean it's a level playing field so that the competition to get rich in an unequal society is fair. And other people would say, no, it's a level playing field in the sense that it's level, no rich and no poor, people just helping each other, not trying to get richer than each other. Which way is your interpretation?
My interpretation is the latter. In other words, everybody is participating on the same playing field with the same guidelines or the same agreements, so that there's no rich and no poor, particularly with this new philosophy of the Supreme Court that money equals speech. It is extremely important for everyone to have the same access, the same ability for their speech to be heard.
Well, I agree with you. Let me ask you, do you think that most Americans agree with you, or do you think you're a tiny minority compared to most people?
I think that most people would agree with me if they really gave the time to think things through. Unfortunately, I think a lot of Americans are caught up in the whole television and celebrity silliness that takes their mind off really important things, such as the ability to participate in the democratic process.
Yeah, no, I agree, especially people who express the ideas that you've just been expressing are basically censored from the mass media, so that it creates the impression that there's hardly anyone who feels this way, which creates hopelessness, and that, of course, allows the rich to remain in power because people feel so hopeless they don't even think it's worthwhile trying to remove them from power.
Right.
And so that's why we're making these videos.
And that's why I'm voting for Bernie Sanders for president.
Okay, well, that's another. That raises other questions, which I won't get into. But thank you very much. I hope you enjoy looking at the webpage pdrboston.org on the button.
I will.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm David Ludlow. I'm from 350 Mass, the Boston node. We're celebrating this wonderful beginning of spring here, and I have some rather grim news that people really don't want to think too much about, and that is that the utility companies have a stranglehold on ratepayers. They're going to make ratepayers pay for infrastructure for fracked gas pipelines that are very dangerous, that are poisoning people, that are coming right through all of the northeastern states and ending up in West Roxbury. Not ending up, because then they send it across the Dorchester Bay in a pipe, and it ends up in Salem, where it fuels electric generating plants and then goes on to Europe for export. They say the purpose of this gas is to save us during peak periods, save our costs, but the costs are going to triple, quadruple, because we'll have to compete with Europe for this gas. Now, the dangers of these pipelines are hundreds of them have exploded. Scores of people have died from these explosions. They've been here for a long time, and people don't really notice how dangerous they are. There are hundreds of gas leaks right around this area where we are right now. People aren't even aware of that. So we have to stop these pipelines. We have to be aware that global warming is accelerated by methane. Methane is 20 to 87 times more lethal for global warming and climate change than is CO2. People don't know that. So what we're doing now is we are bypassing alternatives, green alternatives. We are buying in to climate chaos, which means we are buying in to seas rising. We are buying in to climate disruptions, severe weather, drought, famine, civil unrest, and more resource wars. So that's what we're headed for. So we need you to do something.
Thank you. Listen, you've seen our button, the PDR button that says "Let's remove the rich from power, have real, not fake democracy with no rich and no poor." You think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
Of course we have to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you.
Thank you.